So you have a lot of goals that you want to achieve, a lot of aspirations for your future, a lot of things that you set out to do, but you chose not to do them because you saw that they were hard and you're probably going to fail. See, this was me when I was younger. I was always scared to set goals. I was always scared to set a definite standard for success. By doing this, I wouldn't really fail and I wouldn't really succeed. There would always be this gray area saying, I kind of did what I set out to do. I kind of didn't reach my goal. If you want to be the best, you're going to fail along the way. If you want the best clothing brand, if you want to be the biggest YouTuber, if you want the biggest tech company, you're going to fail along the way. You're not going to get to the top without failure. And we have to recognize that we aren't defined by our failures. Most of the time, people are scared to go after their big goals, to go after those things that no one else can see but them, because they're scared that they're going to fail. And you're scared to be labeled as a failure. You have to realize that you're not a failure if you don't give up. A failure is only a failure if it happens in the last chapter. No one remembers how you failed halfway along the line, then carried on going. Like, think, you've probably failed multiple tests in school. You've probably gotten 10%, 20%. But do you remember that test? No, because you carried on going and you carried on improving until you were passing and getting good grades. Do you remember that time you were playing sport and you missed the winning shot, you missed the vital moment, or you messed up in the vital moment of the game? No, you don't, because you carried on after that failure. See, when I was younger, I was about 15 years old and we were playing in the final for a cricket tournament. And at the time, I was the vice captain of the team, so there was a lot of pressure on me. I was one of the star players in the team, so I always had to perform. So throughout the whole year, I was performing. I was one of the best players. I actually got the trophy for the best bowler in the team. And it came to the final, where I had to showcase all of my talents, to showcase what I'd been doing for the whole year. But then during that final, I cracked under pressure. I dropped 2 catches, which ended up in us losing the final. And fair enough, if I'd stopped playing cricket at that point, I would have been labelled as a failure. But I didn't. I didn't wallow in the sorrow that I felt. Instead, I chose to push forward, to carry on. At that point, I wanted to give up playing cricket because I had lost the final for my team. And 2 months later, I was playing for the school's first team. And when we look back now, yes, we're 15 years old, so you're probably not going to remember what happened when you're 15 years old. But no one remembers that game. No one cares about that game. The only thing that people care about is the fact that you didn't give up, that you carried on going. Failure only determines you, and it's the thing that causes you to give up. As long as you don't give up, you will never be defined by your failures. You have to realize that in this world, you're going to be remembered for 2 things. Either your successes or your failures. And you only be And you only be remembered for your failures if you give up after them. You can't give up on your dreams. You owe it to yourself to carry on going, to carry on pushing. Because I promise you, when you're on your deathbed, when you're 35 or 40, whenever, whatever age you deem old, you're going to look back and thank yourself for not giving up. We have to push on, and we can't give up.